Welcome to SpiritsHome. This is our October gathering, and for those who are already in the room, thank you for your patience. Here we go. We're going to open with a song that's called Saubona, which is based on a Zulu greeting, and we'll sing it twice through. So while muted, once you get the feel for it, feel free to join in. I am here to be seen. I am here to be seen. I am here to be seen. I am here to be seen, and I see you. I see you. I see you. Ashe. So we'll do it all the way through again from the top. I am here to be seen. I am here to be seen. I am here to be seen. I am here to be seen, and I see you. I see you. I see you. Ashe.
Welcome into this space where we dedicate our time to the possibility of being seen. Let us open our hearts with joy and wonder to the vulnerability and the growth that comes from it. Amen. Ashe Aho. And so it is. And so today we'll start with a couple of readings, quotes from some names you may recognize. We'll start with one by May Sarton. We have to dare to be ourselves, however frightening or strange that self may prove to be. And Carl Gustav Jung says, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And Brene Brown shares, authenticity is a collection of choices that we have to make every day. It's about the choice to show up and be real, the choice to be honest, the choice to let our true selves be seen. And finally, the dear Oscar Wilde says, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken.
Thanks, Callie. And actually, that last quote was in an NPR story this morning, in Morning Edition. They opened the story with that quote, and I thought, well, how timely is that? So it's October, which means it's approaching Halloween time. And that's according to my calendar. According to the store shelves, We are leapfrogging Halloween and Thanksgiving and racing out of control right into Christmas. But for this minister, it's Halloween time, which led me to think about costumes and then led me, with the help of Reverend Ann and Phyllis, to the idea of masks. I'm not a fan of masks, and we'll get more into that later. The next thing I thought of, though, was as I started exploring this topic, was the concept of the real me. And that led me directly to Pete Townsend. Quadrophenia is one of my top 2 favorite albums by The Who. The other is Who Are You?, which ironically also applies to this talk. In the opening song of this rock opera, Quadrophenia, Jimmy, our protagonist, sings the song, "Can You See the Real Me?" He talks about going to a preacher, a doctor, and his own mother, and walking away from each of those encounters asking the same question, can you see the real me? In Quadrophenia, Pete Townsend walks us through the 4 personalities of Jimmy, each one associated with a specific song from the piece. He describes Jimmy's personalities as a tough guy, a romantic, a bloody lunatic, a beggar, a hypocrite. Jimmy struggles with each of these identities throughout the album, and there is a film, and it's a masterpiece of the exploration of our social, familial, relational, and professional expressions of who we are. I remember when I first heard this album, it was sometime around 1977, and that song, The Real Me, spoke right to my soul. I was trying to answer that question for myself as well. Now, here's the funny part. As I was pondering this whole idea of the real me and what keeps us from being seen and known as our authentic selves, I thought, well, I need to look into masks, which of course I didn't really want to do because of the aforementioned dislike of masks. So here's the funny part. This was a little moment of cultural adaptation since COVID. When I Googled mask, this is what came up. I still have my basket of custom design masks that I made and used throughout the pandemic, always trying to make a statement. Artsy, funny, clever. And I even designed a mask from the graphics of my podcast, which, as you can see, my sister Anita and niece Holland wore all over the place. And it was great advertising, and thank you to both of you. Still, this wasn't the mask idea that I was looking for. And again, I don't like masks. When I studied theater and when I worked as an actor, mask work was something that I actively avoided. They just give me the creeps. With one exception. The magnificent artistry of my friends Janelle and David Priest. They're professional photographers who live in Italy and spend a good deal of time at Carnival in Venice. They have found a way to gently get me to appreciate masks. The range and diversity of the people that model for them is, as you can see, spectacular. Their work, along with the creators of the masks, is so lovely that it actually made me start to appreciate masks. However, this is still not the masks that I want to talk about. It took me some time, though, to get to where I needed to get to on this topic, because the actual point of this talk is about something that is profoundly personal to me. And we're going to go there today. And I want to thank you right now for taking this journey with me. The masks I want to talk about are these. The masks we hide behind in our daily lives. Like the mask I used to hide behind, starting in 8th grade, to keep myself alive. At the age of 13, I decided that I could not continue living with the darkness that had been slowly taking over my soul. My dad dying the year before was a tipping point for me. Still, that sadness had been threateningly looming before that moment. With his passing, what seemed to be an unexplainable sadness turned into something much deeper and stronger. The thing was, I was in junior high school, and in 1976, the world was different from the way it is now. Conversations about depression in young people were happening somewhere, I'm sure, just not anywhere that I knew about. Thankfully, I had a small circle of friends who stayed by my side, and there was a school counselor, the brilliant and kind and ever-patient Kay Brower, who let me into her office to hide out from the overwhelming classes and hallways and giving me a safe place to cry. After 1 year of acceptable mourning after my dad passed, it became clear to me that crying in front of others was no longer understood. And my emotional state had become problematic. By the time I was in high school, the mask that I needed to put on to survive had become solidified. It became who I was to the world. This was how I was known in high school. That middle photo is especially significant when it comes to talking about the real me. I was at a Temple Youth Group retreat at Camp White Pine in Haliburton, Ontario, where they had recently filmed the movie Meatballs. It was a big deal for me to go there because it was a week away from home, something I hadn't done before. I think it was the fourth or fifth day there, and I'd been keeping my mask so solidly in place the whole time. I was exhausted. I was being the funny one, the goofy one, the one who would say and do things that made everyone laugh, the performer. That was my mask. On this particular day, I had snuck away from the group and had gone down to the small beach so that I could cry without anyone interrupting me or seeing me. As I sat there, tears coming down, trying to decide how much longer I could bear being alive, one of my friends, Paul, snuck up behind me, always with his camera, and said, "Hey, Rachel." And when he jumped in front of me to take the photo, this was the moment he captured. Over the years, I've heard from so many people about how much they love this photo, that it's their favorite of mine because I look so happy. That right there in that middle photo is the power of the mask. The ability to hide the real me in an instant of a camera click. It took me years to learn how to remove that mask, to trust that it was safe for me to do so. And this is important in connection with the topic today, so if you will allow it, as a special shout out to the brilliant, if you will allow me to share a reading that also includes a special shout out to a brilliant actor we lost this past week. I would like to share a short excerpt from my book about this time in my life. It's from the piece called The Goofiest Girl. I began laughing all of the time, being socially outlandish in my clothes and the way I talked, being funny, being lively, and making sure that everyone knew that I wasn't crying anymore. That extended into high school. For 4 years in a row, I was voted goofiest girl in my class. Success. I will be forever grateful for Annie Hall and the fashion sense that Diane Keaton's character brought into vogue. It allowed me to appear somewhat normal when, in high school, I began wearing my dad's clothes. Oversized suits, pants, ties. I appeared quirky. I was keeping myself alive. My persona kept me from disappearing, from being bullied, from scaring or confusing those who could never understand the pain I was feeling. It protected me. And even though the darkness of depression was still ever present within me, my persona kept it from being seen by the world. I used it to fool therapists, teachers, family, and anyone else I encountered. In retrospect, I cannot possibly feel more grateful for the goofiest girl. She kept me alive long enough to figure out how to stay alive so that I could be here today talking about her. Over the years, there have been so many, I'll use the word versions of me, that coming to a place of authenticity has been quite the journey. There's age 10 Rachel, afraid, sad, only feeling confident when she was walking by her dad's side. Goofiest girl Rachel, loud, funny, outlandish, and strangely popular, which still flummoxes me. Relationship Rachel, trying to fit into a mold of what others expected of me, thinking that this would be the answer to everything. And at long last, with many more iterations in between, including one phase of punk rock haircut Rachel, I finally found the road that led me to now, to Reverend Rachel, the me that I truly want to be. Taking off each mask, moving through each expression of myself was a lesson learned. I'm thinking that many, if not all of us, can relate. We're not who we were when we were learning to walk, talk, and beginning to discover our world. We're not who we were when we were in high school or in our 20s. And let me just take this moment to bless anyone who might be watching this who is still in their 20s. Please stick with it. I promise, seriously, everything will in fact get better. We're not who we were in our last relationship or in our last place of employment. We continue to evolve and grow and learn and expand. And hopefully all of this learning and growing leads us to becoming more of who we really are, our real self, our authentic self. Okay, full disclosure, I'm not actually familiar with the work of this author. However, I found this quote and it was exactly what I needed. So I will add Sue Fitzmaurice's books to my need to read these stack, which is growing larger every day. But she wrote this: what it means to be authentic. To be more concerned with truth than opinions. To be sincere and not pretend. To be free from hypocrisy. Walk your talk. To know who you are and to be that person. To not fear others seeing your vulnerabilities. Being confident to walk away from situations where you can't be yourself. Being awake to your own feelings. Being free from others' opinions of you. Accepting and loving yourself. This is an excellent checklist. And as I wrote on the slide, I'm not sure if it's from this book, but I like the cover of this book, so I went with it. And this list leads me to where I wanted to go to next, which is how to be our authentic selves in moments when it's truly challenging. I recently had to make a couple changes to a trip that I'm going to be taking. The first lesson I learned was never book airline tickets or hotel reservations through a third party. Wow, was that a tough lesson to learn. I was on the phone with many different people, folks of different backgrounds, locations, accents, and attitudes that were different than mine. What did I discover? That when I approached these calls with frustration, anger, and a sense that they didn't know what they were doing, I was met with coldness and equal amounts of frustration. And I know you all can see what's coming up here. When I began the call with honesty, openness, and clear communication about my feelings of frustration, anxiety, and a desire for clarity, I was met with support, humor, and a desire to help. One would think that this is a lesson that I only need to learn one time, right? Wrong. This lesson comes up again and again. I finally asked myself why that is. And one word came back to me loud and clear: vulnerability. To be my authentic self, to show up with an open heart and a clear mind, I need to be brave enough to be vulnerable, to express calmly what I need, and to ask for help gently. And most importantly, to not assume that everyone else in the world is an idiot who doesn't know what they're doing and are all out to get me. We need to release that. And of course, yes, there are scams and there are hackers. And there are some folks out there who are lost and desperate and making some really crappy choices. However, to presume that every single customer service person I speak to, from travel folks to bank folks to utilities to the DMV, to assume that they are somehow enacting an evil agenda that I must protect myself from, that is simply exhausting. And it takes its toll. I used to waste a lot of time being angry, not just feeling angry, actually being angry. And my body let me know how dangerous that was becoming. The solution? You're way ahead of me. Vulnerability, which leads to authenticity. Finding the courage to be the real me. When we, or I, began a practice of allowing myself to be more vulnerable, and it is a practice, no doubt, that anger I was carrying had no choice except to move on. That's not to say that I never feel angry. I absolutely feel angry. Anyone who's friends with me on Facebook knows that I have no problem expressing some healthy, righteous anger. It's finding the best place for it. That's been the key for me. And trust me, customer service folks do not deserve the wrath that they receive on a daily and sometimes hourly basis. So I'm going to challenge you to test my theory. The next time something goes wrong with your bank account or your credit card or electricity or whatever, when you call a customer service line, open the conversation with this: hi, I know this isn't your fault. I'm just feeling really frustrated, and unfortunately, you are the one on the other end of this call. Thank you for your patience with me. I guarantee you, the whole tone of the call will shift. I've done it. It works. I'm going to take a little sip of tea. Hang on a sec. Here's the thing about being our authentic selves. This can actually look different in different scenarios. And mostly I attribute that to politeness. When I'm with certain friends or family members, I might take on a different or familiar role. and give my current, most comfortable self, Reverend Rachel, a little rest. I will often try to be more accommodating to the folks I'm with. When I'm with folks from my spiritual communities or facilitating a workshop or a gathering, Reverend Rachel gets to shine a little bit more. When I'm pup sitting, I let my couch potato lazy self out a little bit more, because usually there's a television at the house where I'm staying, and as a TV addict, an addiction is an addiction. So I don't have a TV here. So when I go dog sitting, I get to watch TV. When I'm out being social, which full disclosure doesn't really happen all that often, I might even let a little bit of the goofiest girl resurface. Authentically now, of course. We all are, in a way, different people in different scenarios. That does not mean we're not being our authentic selves. We can still be true to ourselves while choosing to adapt to the moment we find ourselves in. Sometimes, though, I need to be sure my inner well is full enough so that I can show up fully for whatever outside my home cave activity I'm participating in. Which leads me to 2 words that I've learned, and I've found them to be quite useful. Ambivert and outrovert, I just learned. The ambivert is this idea of balancing both extrovert and introvert. And outrovert, which is actually a newer word, is the way we turn inward to ourselves. I'll explain a little more. I tend to lean toward the ambivert because it is more of a both and experience, and that's kind of the way I live my life in all ways. Ambivert is actually not a new word to me. I was first introduced to it a few years ago, and I thought, yeah, that's me. It made total sense. However, outrovert, which by the way is so new that spell check kept rejecting it, actually this one fascinated me. And it fascinated me so much that I actually explored the website attributed to it, and I took the test. There's a test. Of course, I gave a fake name. But no surprise, I'm definitely an outrovert. Outrovert or outrovert. There were so many different pronunciations. However, if you would like any of these links, just let me know and I will send them to you. And you can take the test yourself. And it wasn't a surprise that I was an outrovert, because if you look at the description, leaning toward empathy and friendliness, the dissonance between looking and acting like an insider while feeling like an outsider is tiring, and it leads people to withdraw from the group. I much prefer one-on-one than group settings. So there you go. And what I love about the information on this new term and at this website is it's a constant emphasis on the idea that this is not about being broken. There's nothing wrong with a person who is facing a different direction. Someone who needs to move through the world in a different kind of way. And so we've sort of come full circle or full oval. I failed geometry, so go with what feels best for you. However, before I move into the song I want to share with you today, I wanted to give you 2 more quotes to take with you. From Brené Brown, because true belonging only happens when we present our authentic, imperfect selves to the world. Our sense of belonging can never be greater than our level of self-acceptance. And from the wise Ziggy Marley, if you keep hiding your true self, your life becomes like slow death. Once you become free from the lies and the hiding of yourself, then life becomes vibrant again. And of course, it takes me back to one of the best quotes about being our authentic selves that Callie read at the beginning of the service today and was on NPR this morning from Oscar Wilde. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. When I was looking at what song to sing today, Spirit led me directly to the perfect one. This song actually came through me in June of 2007. I'd been feeling really conflicted about many things in my life, and even in the lyrics, there's a mention about so much separation happening in myself and the country. Sound familiar? And I was also offered the challenge to write a song that created a lyric that rhymed with falafel. And it's in there. Anyway, as I was thinking about what song to sing and I began practicing this song, I thought, oh my gosh, I could have written this song today. And because it's a little more boisterous, I thought I need to put the lyrics up on the PowerPoint, because as powerful as it was for me to experience this song in 2007, it is really landing for me today, and I wanted to make sure that you could see and receive the words clearly. The song is called The Big Reveal. Take me from the darkness into the light, from the unreal into the real. Help me let loose this grip that's so tight. Let my heart do the big reveal. I was feeling kinda awful, so I grabbed a quick falafel and sat down with a really good friend. Feeling so much separation in my heart, the world, the nation, and believing no one could understand. Why can't we love each other? Why can't we see each other? How'd we forget who we are? Take me from the darkness into the light, from the unreal into the real. Help me let loose this grip that's so tight. Let my heart do the big reveal. You say this is who I am. Love me for who I am. Well, that's not always so easy to do. Even though we always can't see, in our hearts we want the same dream, to be accepted, to be seen as true. So I will love you for who you are, and you will see me for who I am, as we remember who we really are, who we really are. Take me from the darkness into the light, from the unreal into the real. Help me let loose this grip that's so tight. Let my heart do the big reveal. Take me from the darkness into the light, from the unreal into the real. Help me let loose this grip. Let my heart do the big reveal. And we'll remember who we really are, who we really are. That was a little messy. So we're going to just go right into prayer. Oh my goodness. Being our authentic selves is scary. Scary and messy and exciting and exhilarating and frightening and necessary. Necessary. When we let ourselves take off the masks, take off the armor, move the protection, and say to the world, okay, it's scary and I'm going to be vulnerable right now. I'm hurt. I'm afraid. I want love. I need your companionship. I need help. I feel lost. When we let ourselves share this with those in our lives who we trust, that is a gift to them. It is a gift to receive someone's vulnerability, hold it tenderly in our hands, our hearts, and our minds, and say, I see you. I see you. I hear you. And I'm just going to sit here with you. I'm not going to try to fix it. I'm not going to try to change it. I'm just going to sit here with you in the messiness, in the tears, in all of it. This is how we gift ourselves and the people in our lives an authentic life. It's the only way to show up. And in a world that is telling us to armor up and protect and guard, it is an act of radical rebellion and radical love to say, no, I'm going to be myself right now. I'm going to be myself and I'm going to show you who I really am. And I hope you'll do the same with me. This is what I know to be true. This is what I've learned. And my prayer is that we all feel at some point in our lives safe enough to be our true selves. So grateful. So very grateful. Amen, Ashe, Amin. And so it is. Yes. I just want to take a moment before we jump into announcements just to breathe. Just to breathe. And to thank you for allowing space to share this kind of message. We need spaces like these. And that will be the transition to the announcements. We have a new landing page, a website for SpiritsHome. It's spiritshome.org. It has our purpose, our mission, our vision, and also an opportunity to join the email list if you haven't already. The emails we send out are truly sporadic and non-invasive. They are about once a month, twice a month. One will have the video from the previous talk and a preview of what's to come. And the next will be a reminder of the upcoming talk and any news that's come up. If you think you're on the mailing list, but you're not getting the emails, please go to the new landing page and sign up. I think we've got it fixed now. Big news, SpiritsHome is going on the road. I was in Michigan in September, which was a great experience. And from that, 3 more gigs have come up. So in November, I will be taking Spirits Home to Long Island, the Hudson Valley, New York, and the Poconos, doing the pilgrimage talk. And I'm super duper excited about it. And Spirits Home will travel anywhere. I have a trusty little car, and I will go anywhere where you want me to be. So feel free to email at spiritshome42@gmail.com. Super excited about that. I actually had extra notes. So, yeah. Also, my website, which the landing page leads you to, but is revrachelhollander.com. That has all previous talks on it, as well as information about the different services I provide, the podcast that I did, the book, everything, all things Rev Rachel. And also when I do travel, I'm a one Rev band. I do the talk and the music. So if you have a resident musician, they get a Sunday off as long as it doesn't upset them. And yeah, so I'm totally open to going anywhere, and I will drive cross country. We did get our 501c3 status, so all deductions are tax deductible. And because of the Spirits Home on the Road thing, there's actually a call for me to order more copies of my book. So if you were thinking of donating and you're like, why am I donating? What am I donating to or for? That is a specific reason to donate, is to the Publish the Book Fund, because I publish my books through a self-publishing company, and so it's all on me. And so if you want a reason, there's a good reason. We'd love that. And please feel free to share what we're doing, except don't share the Zoom link for the gatherings, because we want to keep this community safe. However, share the landing page, share the email, share the info, and once the videos are out, share the videos with anyone you think that might be interested in hanging out with us, because we'd love to grow. We'd love to grow. And with that, we'll do our grateful song. And then on the very last slide, please stick around, because if you do want to donate, there is a QR code to do that, and also the date of our next gathering. So please join me. If you're new to this song, this is our peppy gratitude song. There's an opportunity to echo while muted, please, and feel free to bounce right along. And thank you so much for being here. So grateful for all of you. Always so grateful, always so grateful. That's your echo part. Always so grateful. Saying thanks and giving thanks. Living a life of gratitude is the way I choose to live. Saying thanks and giving thanks. Living a life of gratitude is the way I choose to live my life, and I am always so grateful. Always so grateful, always so grateful. Look around, so much to say, yes. I'm thankful now for everything. I have no complaints whatsoever. Look around, so much to say. Thankful now for everything. I have no complaints whatsoever. None whatsoever. That's why I'm always so grateful. Always so grateful. Grateful for Callie. Thank you, Callie. Always so grateful. Thank you again, again, again. Thank you, Callie. Thank you all for being here. Our next gathering will be the second Sunday. We'll go back to the second Sundays. Second Sunday in November, November 9th. And I'm not sure if we'll be talking about Thanksgiving or not. We'll see. I don't know yet. It's always a good mystery to see what Spirit wants me to talk about. There is the QR code to donate through Venmo. You can also just reach out to me through my website, the email, the landing page, and we can figure out a way to connect. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know I'm guided. I know I'm